Does it feel like your teenager argues about everything? This can be extremely frustrating and stressful. Yet there are several reasons as to why teenagers seem to argue all the time. During the adolescent years, our children go through many developmental changes. These changes are often confusing and overwhelming for them. Understanding how these changes affect your child might help you manage the potential conflict and stress in your home. Developmental changes in teens. Physical changes. Firstly, we must remember that they are experiencing several physical changes. Both girls and boys are noticing changes in body shape and height, as well as the growth of pubic and body hair. Girls are developing breasts and starting their periods. Boys are having voice changes, growth in penis and testes, as well as erections and ejaculations for the first time. On top of this, they may experience pimples and body odor. These are huge developmental changes that our teens are dealing with. Emotional changes. Along with these physical changes, they are also developing new feelings about their bodies, sexuality, and intimate relationships, which brings about emotional changes as well. They will be aware and self-conscious about their physical appearance. Comparing their body with those of friends and peers can affect their self-esteem. The release of hormones affect teenagers' moods, emotions, and impulses, as well as their body. The mood swings that teens experience are caused by fluctuations in estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. These hormones can actually change the parts of their brain that involve emotion. This can make them more emotional than an adult or a child, and affects the way they react to things. Unfortunately, the parts of the brain that help them manage their emotions only develop much later. So now we're dealing with teens with intense emotions but without the tools to be able to deal with them. These strong feelings and intense emotions often manifest as mood swings, and lead to increased conflict. Girls are often moody and sometimes mean, whilst boys can be uncommunicative or angry. They are still learning how to control these emotions in a mature way, and will test their responses on you. It might start to feel like your teenager argues about everything. This is why it's so important that we, as adults, try to control our emotions and manage these situations with our teens. Remember that you're the only one in the world that will love them unconditionally. They might feel confused and uncomfortable in their own bodies, and not sure where they fit in with their peers. You have to be the constant support that they need right now. Relationship changes. At the same time as these physical and emotional changes are happening, they are also testing their boundaries. They're learning how to be an adult. They've started to think differently and are trying to take more control of their lives. This can be very frustrating, as they don't have the actual power and independence, and can't yet enjoy the freedoms of an adult. We as parents need to change with them. We can no longer expect them to do as we say, merely because we're their parent. Arguments can start out because they are testing their new ideas or points of view. But at the same time, they are also testing parental power. We need to let them know that they are safe within our boundaries. That they are allowed to push these boundaries, and it is our job to keep these boundaries in place. They should feel safe in testing and pushing these boundaries, knowing that we will keep them on track. This is one of the hardest jobs as a parent, as we don't know how far or when we should let them test, push and fail, whilst keeping them safe. Watch our next video on tips that can help with a teenager that argues about everything.